All right, good morning, everyone. It is 10 o'clock straight up. So thankful for Jeremy. He just came in and saved the day because my webcam was not working randomly on this beautiful Friday morning. I am Nicole Jensen, CEO of Real MLS, and I appreciate all of you joining us. Just a couple of housekeeping items. We are using a meeting functionality of Zoom today, and so you all can go off of mute. If you could just keep yourselves muted throughout the presentation. I have a section for questions at the end, and I will allow you to do that. Or if you want to type in the chat, that's another way that you can ask questions. And we'll try to track those and answer them as they come. But mostly we're going to save questions for the end just so we can get through the content. So it is October 1st. I cannot believe it that it's already fall and we're experiencing beautiful weather out there. So happy to be here, and to get us started, if it will go forward. There we go. So every month our staff puts together these awesome infographics that we share out to Facebook and other social media. And really, it's just a snapshot of the market. And so I wanted to make sure you're all aware of those. Hopefully you're seeing those and sharing those with your clients, because there are tools that we're making for you, our members, to communicate the marketplace to your clients. So we're really just trying to empower you with good data. And this is one way of a really quick visual view of the marketplace. Here are our membership numbers. And actually this morning, we are at 10,900 and some members. So this is from August, and they just continue to come in. License renewals just occurred. And so we'll have some member attrition due to people not renewing their real estate license, but we're almost at 11,000 members. We've had record new member numbers, and we just continue to grow. And we first of all, we offer great service. And so that's part of it. People want to be a part of our MLS. However, our membership numbers just have continued to be, we've taken on 180 to 150 new members every month. And so it's tough to make sure that we're educating all of those people every month on all of the MLS rules, how to do everything right. So it's a good time. Who knows what is going to happen with the membership? We'll just continue to watch it and report it out. Like this last month, we had a net increase. Even with the members that left us, we had a net increase of 134 members. So it's just a little crazy out there. Welcome all new members, if any of you are here with us today. Okay, so this is sort of my CEO report for the last quarter, if you will. Like I said, we had 9,993 members that renewed, and that is a record. Even in the last, we didn't look at 2020 because that was sort of an outlier, if you will. But even in 2018 and 19, we were at 89% renewals. And so to have that 94% of members that joined when we sent out dues billings this summer is wonderful. So we thank you all for your membership, and are excited for the upcoming year. I've talked about this a couple of times. We joined an initiative called Market, and that is spelled correctly. It does not have an E in it. But actually today is the very first day with brand new 3 new MLS tech support staff that are actually housed here in our building. And so we are just blessed to have them here. They are doing a great job. They are learning. They have been in training for over 3 weeks, and they're going to be a great addition to our team. We pulled this back in-house because I believe that you are the customer of who you interact with. And prior, you were calling FBS, our vendor, who provides us MLS services, and they're wonderful, and they have served us well for many years. But this allows me to actually listen to their interactions, because they're literally right across the hall from me, and really be more involved with the level of support that you're getting from those level 1 MLS tech help desk people. So please be kind to them, welcome them. They're wonderful individuals, and I look forward to really building a great relationship with them. And in doing so, we actually had to improve our phone system, and it's going to allow us to more easily transfer calls. So when you call in, sometimes we had to have you call back in to talk to NEFAR or to talk to someone else. And that is a thing of the past, I'm thankful to say. So we'll be able to just transfer you to whomever you need to speak with to best get your question answered. We did have the data integrity launch that started August 1, and we began fining for offenses on August 15th. And I know that some people are saying, I don't want you to fine me. I just want to I need a warning. I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong. And some of those fines, they actually are that way. You have 2 business days to fix. So if it's just like a bad piece of data, you accidentally put this wrong square footage in, or you accidentally put the wrong type of pool in, or whatever the case may be, those kinds of errors, they can be fixed. Some of the errors though are sort of like you can't put it back in the bag. So if you do something like put a listing in late, you can't go back and put a listing in on time. And so those are the major offenses that really can't be corrected. But there is luckily a process, right, that you can ask for a waiver and explain to the MLS why it is that the error occurred. And so there is a process. So it is fair, and we are treating every member the same. And that is the most important thing. We want good quality data, and we want everyone to play by the rules. And we want to treat every single one of you the same, no matter who you are or what you've done. So we do have a new phone number. It is on the screen. Don't panic. If you don't want to memorize that one, you can still call 904-394-9494 and get to us through that menu as well. But we did want to publish a main phone number of our own. And apparently that is an old phone number. Some of you may remember that from back in the day, but we're reusing that 281-1400. So add that to your phone list. And then I'm going to go over at the end here a new product that we're going to be launching very shortly, I believe, beginning of November, which is the interactive market statistics from Domus Analytics. And just a sidebar, right before this call started, I was on my cell phone, and Inman posted a story that the DOJ has allowed the transaction between ShowingTime and Zillow to be go through. And so one of the products that we actually acquire from Zillow right now is your fast stats and market input, your statistical products. And so this product, Domus Analytics, will be the product that we are going to start offering for you to use for your market statistics needs. And I'll show you that here at the end of the call. So on an industry-wide update, back in September, and this is one of the things I'm going to talk about, the MLS Technology and Emerging Issues Advisory Board, which is a mouthful, met in Chicago and finalized some recommendations that will go in front of the NAR Board of Directors in November. So I'm going to cover that in this webinar as well. And then I'm sure you've all heard, but NAR did file a petition to oppose the Department of Justice's breach of settlement agreement. So when the DOJ pulled out of the settlement with NAR, then NAR responded with filing a petition to oppose them pulling out of that settlement. So at CMLS, we had a couple of people speak to that from the DOJ and FTC that were in the prior administration and no longer work there. And it is going to be a heavy lift for NAR to oppose the DOJ pulling out of that settlement. But we are going to move forward as an industry, and we are going to do everything we can, regardless of all of the things going on with that settlement, to make sure that we are providing our consumers the best service and the most transparent transactions, and doing all things to make sure that we really are doing what we've always done, which is best serve our consumers and make sure that they are fully informed of all transaction details. So nothing really changes, except for we're going to make sure that everybody is being more transparent, which is what we're going to talk about here today as well. And then I just wanted to mention, we had a housing Funds for Housings petition that Florida Realtors had launched this summer, and they are suspending that because they've entered a historic partnership with the Florida legislature, and they're very excited about a workforce housing initiative. And so just look for that. Look at Florida Realtors and read on that, because it's a wonderful thing that they're doing for affordability and for people to actually work where they live. All right. Let's get started. Just to remind you that, our job here at the MLS is really to advance a healthy marketplace by keeping you, our members, and through you, your clients, in the know. And we do that partially through this data integrity policy. And I don't mean to beat the horse, because it is, we've talked about it, and I know everybody is aware of it, but it's really, really, really important that you educate yourself on this policy. And if you are the leader of a firm and you are a managing broker, please have us out to talk about it. Please reach out, look at the videos. Here's a webpage on our website. It's under resources, data integrity policy, and educate you or yourself and your realtor members on this policy. It was not put in place to raise money. It's not a financial, it's not financially driven. We actually are going to donate all of the fines to the NEFAR Charitable Foundation. So I assure you, this is not about the money. This is about providing the best data for you, and then through you, the consumer. So I'm just going to go down the list real quick here. The toolkit is all encompassing. It has everything in it. The summary is more if you like to read about why. FAQ has answers and questions, and then the policy guide is sort of a summary, really, of the main points, and then followed by both the policy manual and the rules and regs, which are the full governing documents. So visit this page. If I could ask you to do one thing for me, visit this page and share it, so that people understand why and how this policy works and their rights, really, with this policy. And so this is really what it's about. This is about providing the same level of access to our data. We are curators of amazing data, everyone. You guys do a phenomenal job, and you spend an enormous amount of time going out and getting all of the information, the data about these listed properties. And to hold that data and not allow every single member of the consumers, all consumers, no matter who they know or what club they're a part of or what have you, to have access to that same data, so that I don't have to, I feel like the MLS needs to be something that everyone can enjoy. And so when you hold a listing off of the MLS, somebody might really have been waiting for that house, and now they don't have a choice. And we're seeing that still, even with the data integrity policy. We're seeing houses being on coming soon. They drop it as active at 9 a.m. in the morning, and by 9:13, they're under contract. So I'm not, that was not accessible to all people. And so I just want you to all think about it, and think about the buyers out there that really should also have a chance. And so our policy, we're going to enforce it, and we have enforced it, and we're going to continue to do so. We believe thoroughly in the clear cooperation policy. And now I'll get off my soapbox, but please familiarize yourself with that data integrity policy. It is an important part of your business. Here are the violations. Like I said, the first category, you can fix those. You have 2 business days to do so. Second category is the major violations. Those are more so that you cannot correct, because you can't go back in time and do it correctly. This is one of the things that we keep seeing. People keep publishing the codes to private communities, to the gates in the even the agent remarks, the agent only remarks. Those cannot go in the MLS. I understand that you think you're giving it to the agents, but that is accessible to all. So you need to share those through your showing time or some other means. They can't be in the MLS system. It's a public trust thing, and you can't go back and undo that. So please share the gate codes in another way. Do not communicate that detail through the MLS system. And then coming soon, of course, is the $1,000. And we continue to see violations of the coming soon policy as well. Coming soon is there to amp up the listing. It's not to sell the listing. There is no showings. There are no contracts to be accepted. You can't, it's essentially not on the market at that time. And until that property hits the market and goes active, it's a violation to either show or take a listing contract in a coming soon property. So know those rules, learn them, and hopefully, you'll alleviate the need for me to continue to issue violations. So, all right. Again, advancing a healthy marketplace. That is what we are here to do. We want to keep you in the know, and through you, your clients. So with that, the National Association of Realtors Emerging Issues Advisory Board met in the beginning of this month, I think on the 8th and 9th, and they came up with some recommendations, if you will. So from this advisory board, it will go to the MLS committee at NAR, which meets on Saturday of the NAR meetings in San Diego. And from there, it will go to the board of directors, which will meet on Monday of the meetings in San Diego. So one of the items is that the realtors, my members shall not represent any of your services as free or at no cost. So just take those words out of your vernacular. Just use another way to describe your value. You don't need to share that something is free to make it worth something to your consumers. So it's, because eventually everything is at a cost, right? And we don't want to mislead anyone into thinking that just because I'm a buyer's agent and perhaps my buyer is not going to directly compensate me, that somehow I'm not being compensated. Because that is obviously not the case. We all work for something because we also have families and ourselves to take care of. And so we have to make money. So just don't represent it as free. Have a conversation with your consumer about your value as a buyer's agent and what you're doing for them and your fiduciary to them. And just don't use the words free or at no cost in anything that you put out to the public. This is going to be taken up in November. If it goes through, the rule will be adopted for enforcement January 1 of 2022. So we have 3 months to practice not saying free or no cost. And like I said, you guys have enormous value, and you should be able to really effectively communicate that to your buyer clients. And then the next one that they already recommended is that when you're in the MLS or when you're trying to find properties to show, that you shall never filter or restrict a property that is available to that consumer based on the offering broker compensation. So I can't imagine that people would do this, because I think that if it's a perfect house for your client, your fiduciary is to find them the perfect house, and you should show them all houses. And so this is, again, kind of like a no-brainer for me, but you should never filter. You can't not show a house. That's a double negative intentionally. You cannot not show a house because of the offer of compensation. You need to show them all properties. And have the conversation. Everything's negotiable regarding compensation, but you need to have the conversation with them that if you're not comfortable with the amount of compensation being offered, then you need to talk to them about that and determine a way forward to continue to serve them. You can't exclude it from your properties that you're willing to show them in this rule. And then one of the changes also is that in IDX, which everybody sort of throws around the term IDX, like they call and say, I need an IDX feed. And what about on that IDX? And they sort of use the letters. But IDX is the display of the broker, the participants' listings on other brokers' websites, following a number of rules. And so you're either a participant of IDX or you're not. And if you are, then you agree to display all of the listings of the other IDX participants' listings on your website. So that's the display of which I speak on this. It's not the public portals. This is just IDX. And then on the VOW, if anybody has a virtual office website that they've set up for their clients, you will need to display, if this rule gets adopted, the name of the listing firm's already a rule. this is old language, name of listing firm. It says listing courtesy of, and y'all have been doing that since 2007 when this rule was adopted. The addition here is and contact information for the listing firm. And so when this is adopted, if it is adopted, you'll have to not only say listing courtesy of ABC Realty, but also have contact information like a phone number of the broker. And the idea there is that to be, again, transparent with the consumer and make sure that they understand the difference between a listing firm and your site having the listings of all of the participants being displayed. And then finally, the things that they have not gotten to, that the committee or the advisory board has not been able to take under consideration. It was a 2-day long meeting and they got to what they could. They're going to get back together in October before the November meetings. And these are the items that they'll take under consideration, which is making sure that we display the offer of compensation to the buyer's agents that are cooperating with you on all publicly accessible MLS sites. So we have a site that you can go on, meaning Real MLS has a property search site, and we would have to add that to the offer of compensation to that site. And then if you print out a sheet or if you provide your clients homes of interest, that you would have to also include the offer of compensation on that printout or on that, however you provide it to them. And then the final thing, which is not a Real MLS item, rather a NEFAR item, because the MLS does not run the lockbox system here in Jacksonville and surrounding areas. NEFAR does, but if the one thing they're going to consider, these were all part of the original DOJ settlement, is that all licensed real estate agents would receive access to lockboxes per your seller's approval. So what that means is it doesn't mean that we have to give it away for free, that NEFAR just has to say, here's a lockbox for every single real estate licensee in the state. What it means is that they can charge the cost of doing business. They can, compensate themselves for whatever the cost of the lockbox system is, but they would have to create a program and figure out exactly how this looks, but that they would have to offer access to all licensed real estate agents. And then importantly, with your seller's approval, that you understand that a member that is not a member of the National Association of Realtors, NEFAR, and Florida Realtors has access to a lockbox and wants to show the property. So those are the things that have not actually been taken up, but they will be at their next meeting. I assume that they'll make another recommendation that we again will see in November when we go to San Diego for NAR convention. Here is the website, and it's an email address, NAR policy questions at nar.realtor. And then there are a couple of articles. So we will share these out. Jeremy, I don't know if we can share them out. We'll make sure that you guys get these somehow, but to the participants list. But if you can actually go to these, really the one is the magazine.realtor. It's an article on their recommendations. And then the final thing is the PDF of recommendations if you really want to study them. There are a number of other things included in there. I focused on the ones that affect your business. Some of their recommendations in these documents affect the way I do business as an MLS. And I guess proudly can tell you that all of the things that are in their recommendation, we are already doing. Doing a strategic plan. They're just really high level things that me being, I think, reviewed is one of the things. So those are easy because we're an amazing MLS and we're already doing all of those recommendations. But the recommendations I'm focused on are the ones that affect your business. So, but these documents are here. And if you want to provide your feedback, email NAR policy questions at nar.realtor. Okay, one last final thing. I just want to give you a sneak peek at the exciting new interactive market statistics that we're going to launch. I believe that the date that it'll go live is November 7th. And the reason for that crazy date is that that's the date that the October data will be normalized and will be able to be uploaded into this portal, this Domus Analytics Interactive Market Statistics tool. And so that being said, it's an exciting tool because you can actually interact with it. And I know that that's possible now, but I do think that there are some fun things that you guys are going to be excited about. And take this with a grain of salt, because like, for instance, the background here of the aerial view, that might change. But the idea is that this is like an infographic that you'll be able to run. And you see up here, you can decide what counties you want to run it for, what metric you're looking at, what you want to look at, what regions even, and you'll be able to change it on the fly so that you can really drill down into the communities that you're serving. And then you'll be able to capture this and share it out to your Facebook page or on your website or wherever you want to. So we just are trying to, again, create graphical images and create bytes of data instead of these like 36-page reports that you have to droll through and really drill down to find what you're looking for. This is another view that is again interactable. So interaction. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back one. Maybe I won't. All of them are interactive is the point. And so you'll be able to drop these, these closed sales down and say, okay, I want to look at the average or the median sale price instead and get a graph for the week ending in, or whatever the case may be. I think there we go. This is the one I love, which I'm a data nerd. So maybe maybe not everyone will love this one, but this is one that you can really use in a listing presentation. If a consumer wants to price their house and it's a little higher than you really think that the market can absorb, their dot is going to be in this upper right-hand quadrant, and you can show them on a scatter plot, that they actually are high priced and that they're up here, whereas maybe you think that they need to be, over here in a lower priced house. So, and you can drill in and out and really drill down into whatever area you want to look at. So we're going to have classes on how to teach you how to use all of these great tools so that you can empower yourself to really have those conversations about pricing with your clients. All right, and with that, I'm going to see if nobody's posted anything, but I think hello here we go. Yep, we can get Joe to post the link on the website. That's a good idea, Jeremy. So we'll make sure to offer those links to you all. And does anybody have any questions? Will Domus be accessible? I don't know what accessible means. Like, do you want to go off of mute, Erica, and ask the question?
Yeah, when will do we currently have access to that?
No, because we have to normalize the data. So November 7th, it'll go live.
Okay, thank you. I missed that. All right.
Yes, and November 7th, and in the interim, the others will be available all the way probably through March of next year. So we're going to run them together, but you're going to love that tool. So I'm happy to bring that to this market. It's a really good interact. And the best part about Domus is if there's something that we want, we can say, hey, we want to add this, or we want to move this over here, or put a new skin on, or so it's basically customizable to our marketplace instead of just like an out of the box solution. So yes, we are recording this, Michael. So we'll definitely post it, and you can share it all you want, and have share it with your agents and other members. It will absolutely be available. We'll have Lois and Jeremy will put it up on all of our channels so that you guys can watch it again. Anybody else want to go off of mute and ask a question? Well, this has been great. I hope you guys, I'm trying to keep these things to a half an hour. The first time I was a little lengthy. I think I went on for an hour, but that's because I was new and I had a lot to say. So we're trying to do a half an hour and try to really keep it brief and informational and get you what you need to know and get you on with your day. So, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and please let us know if we can do anything to make you serving your clients easier or better. You know how to get a hold of the MLS. Let me see if I can get it to go forward. There's me. So there's my email. My cell phone, I think, is even on there. I'm very accessible, 802-7225. It's still a 402 number, but if I change that, then I have to tell like 2,500 people. So I just keep my cell phone the same. And I'm always here. all the time and always accessible and always available. And I thank you all for being members and let us know if we can do anything to help you. Thanks.